Anything?
Natalia, hello on this Monday morning. How are you?
Uh, breathing, breathing. Thank you.
I know I've caught you in your office, and I thought it's really important for people to know about your talks, but rather than seeing an advert, to just hear more from you about, what your upcoming talks are about, because they are so incredibly valuable and so well received by many. So I'm just going to ask you, what are the upcoming talks about, and what inspired you to pick those topics for sharing with spiritual
Okay,
awakeners?
all right. Well, the three talks, and they are the first one is on Wednesday, the 19th of February, and then the next one is in March, and the third one in April, and they are all in a bundle, which is about getting us to move deeper within. All right. So the first one is on intuition. All right. Now, I cannot begin to tell you how important that is, because what's happening is we are losing the mind. Instead of actually thinking and reflecting things out and working things out mentally, we are in that process of moving into the intuition. And the intuition is like a higher intelligence that guides us in every single thing that we do. I can't, from my own personal experience, I can't tell you the joy of not having to think things out, of just actually trusting the feeling. What should I do now? Out of the 10 things I've got to prepare, which would be the appropriate one today? What should I eat? Where should I go for this? What book would be appropriate? What should I look at in terms of films or clips? Everything is guided by the intuition. I'm just using myself as an example, but it's for all of us like this, all right? So let me repeat this. The intuition becomes the new mind.
Mm.
The March talk is about deepening our meditation. And I tell you what my feeling is, having taught meditation for many decades. Unfortunately, you can see the white hairs. That the meditation is the only way that we can truly get to know who we are. It is a magic tool, but many people meditate regularly, but they are not taking themselves sufficiently deeply into themselves to really have the experience of knowing who they truly are. So it's not difficult to do this, and I think it will be a lovely talk, because we'll be able to experience it and experience the light that we are, and the knowing that we are, and the love that we are, through that depth of interaction with ourselves. Now, the April talk is about learning to channel for yourself. Now, I'm not thinking about channeled readings, and I'm not thinking about channeling to a group or anything like that. What my focus will be on that talk is how to access wisdom, guidance, support, all the help we need at this time in our lives, which is crucial, through going inwards and connecting with the higher self. Now, it's very interesting, because the higher self is a field of high vibration energy. And when you are connected with that, which can also be your soul, your guides, whether they be the ascended masters or the angels or the archangels, they can connect with that high vibration field and they can communicate with you. Now, they've got no ego. They don't mind at all whether you think that the message came from the garden frog or the fairy or the tree. They don't mind. They are just invested in us becoming more of who we can be. And I cannot tell you, Lisa, how helpful it is to be able to channel. Because
Yes.
you've got something that's sort of a bit worried about, you can't make a decision about it, you need a bit of clarity. You just sit down with your journal and your pen and you tune yourself and you ask, and the energies, the words just come flowing. Of course the doubt comes in, and the doubt always says, oh, well, it's just me, it's not me. But then as you write, you suddenly get a wonderful flash of something, and you think, no, that's not me. That is definitely not me. Then you know it is that higher vibrational field that is communicating with you. You see, with all these things, whether I'm talking about intuition, meditation, or channeling your higher self, what's happening, my beloved ones, is that spirit, that veil between the seen and the unseen, is getting finer and finer and finer. And what does that mean? That access to all these things, to spirit, to wisdom, to love, to truth, to our direction, is just so much easier for us to access. So if I look at the overall purpose of these talks, there's one major theme, and that is for us to go more deeply into ourselves. You see, I want to put it in another way. We've lived in a culture in what has been king. It's been our minds. Even if you follow a religious path or you're educated in some way, it's always about mind. It's always about mind. Think it through, think it through, think it through. Now, it's not about that. We are being invited to live from the deepest part of our soul, from our hearts, from our higher consciousness. And all I can share with you is that it makes life delicious. When you can do that, you see. Now, we've got a problem because we are so used to using the mind, and it's actually, it inhibits the expression of the fullness of who we are. So that was my intention, to start to encourage people to go deeper into themselves, and also to reach the final goal, which we are all on the journey towards, which is living from what I call inside out.
Yes.
It feels a bit funny, but
I
that's actually what
know.
yeah.
And having experienced one of your amazing courses, connecting, well, understanding more about the pineal and so on, and we had a touch of being able to dive into our own intuition at that point. I mean, what I know from your talks is that this is really designed for anyone. So those people who are starting on their spiritual path, those people who are quite far along their spiritual path, it's about, just reminding yourself how to access that information, right? And to get a feel, a little exercise, a little process in each of these talks so that they can actually experience it for themselves. Am I right?
Yeah, yeah,
Mm,
yes,
brilliant.
yes. And it's always practical. It's
Mm,
not just concepts. I mean, there are some concepts that we do need to understand. For instance, if you're going to connect with your soul or your I am presence, you need to actually, probably 99% of the time, understand the concept before you go into that. I mean, few
Yeah.
people are blessed with these spontaneous experiences, but on the whole, it's very helpful to understand the basics of it. Yeah.
What I love as well, you know, just that you have these talks, and it's quite a few people who hop online with you, is that there's almost like a little community of people joining in this energy of learning about themselves. So you're not alone. There's a group of people who are on this journey with you, and people can just jump on and feel like they're part of something, you know, that it's safe for them to explore this with a little community.
Well, you know, I can't tell you how beautiful it is, Lisa, when you're doing a Zoom course and you see your physog in the middle of the screen. And then all these people coming around you, and I don't know, I'm sure it's the same for you when you're teaching, but I just feel such an outpouring of love and such support. And I think that community spirit, all right, is actually what takes the teaching to another level, because people are not going to come if they are not really committed to that inner journey. But there's something else I want to say about this, is that what is being told to us by Spirit at the moment is that these groups where we're doing this inner work, or where we are meditating or simply meeting to discuss something, are so important, because there is no time on the planet when the light has been so needed. And from these groups, particularly if they're a meditation group, and I do meditations on those Zoom talks, the light just goes out into the community, into the town, into the city, into the country, and it spreads from us. And it's the light, my beloved one, that is going to change everything. And the light is pouring onto the planet at the moment, but it's also coming from all of us who are doing this work. I think we're living in extraordinary times. There's no time that's been so exciting as this, because the doors are just opening. You know, even 10 years ago, we didn't have the opportunity, we didn't have the knowledge, we didn't have the openings that we have now.
Yeah, 100%. I'm so excited to be on this planet at the moment, because it's just changing every day. We're seeing the most amazing things, and so many things entering our experience that before it didn't happen at this rapid rate.
No.
So, Natalia, as a final message, you know, if someone is curious about joining and they might be a little bit hesitant, what would you say to them to encourage their attendance to your talks?
Well, I'd say my question would be to them twofold. First of all, how is your heart? Because we cannot move forward without an open heart. And also, have you really plummeted the depth of you? Do you know who you are? Because these talks will assist you to discover who you truly are. Now, I don't expect you to come out at the end of 3 talks with the fullness of the radiance of the self. That wouldn't be possible. But, you know, be starting that journey inwards and start recognizing the truth of yourself. Because, you see, the truth is that we are all sacred beings. Somebody said to me the other day, tongue in cheek, God doesn't make rubbish.
True that.
None of us are rubbish, but we come from such a culture which has just absolutely subdued the recognition of who we are and filled us with doubts. Now we are able to reclaim the truth of our identity. Does that answer your question?
Yes, 100%. I'm so grateful that you've spent or carved out some time for this little brief interlude. And what I want to say is that anybody who's interested, we're going to drop the links for you to book. Please know that if you buy all 3 of the talks in one go, you get a beautiful discount. So see you there, see you on screen. And thank you so much, Natalia. We look forward to seeing more coming from you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. You know, I love you so much. It makes it so easy. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you very much.